No.
We're fading to black.
Little reaction.
Okay, Mrs. Lans' interview goes live in 3, 2, 1, take it.
My name is Hilda Lans, and I am very much against rent control, because I am against any kind of control, and this is not the American way to try to control the people, and especially the private enterprise. The rent control is trying to do away with the right of private enterprise. And this is very dangerous, because next thing might be that they would like to control also the markets, business, which is also the private enterprise.
You're not just talking out of the blue now, are you, Mrs. Lans? You have some first-hand experience.
Yes, I have.
What is your experience?
Because I come from communist-occupied country, and there I was controlled and controlled and controlled. And I came to United States, to a free and most wonderful country, and now the socialists and ignorant people and also the communist agents are trying to control us here, and I'm against that, because I love American private enterprise system.
Right. How do you answer the plight of the renters who claim they're being forced out of this community because they simply can't afford to pay the rent? How do you answer that?
Actually, the rent control is not damaging the landlords at all. The rent control is damaging the tenants, because if we will give this business for certain bureaucratic board to handle, that will handicap the renters, the tenants, finding the place to live.
How is that going to happen?
Very simple. If you think of what has happened in the countries where the socialists have taken it over, there is only one landlord, and that is the government. And bureaucrats are running here. Now this board, which would run the renters and landlords here, would be the bureaucratic system, and they would tell then to tenants whether they can leave, where to go. For instance, if a landlord would like to give to some people cheaper rent because they know that they cannot afford to pay more, but they cannot do it because the board or the bureaucratic system wouldn't allow. So it is hanging the tenants. And also, may I point out this, that one tenant could never move unless he applies to the board, may I? And the board would then say whether she may or not, and when. Sometimes it takes 6 months' time, and sometimes more, and then, of course, they also check and control where you are going. So
you're talking about where it is, the way it is in other countries.
I am just talking how it has been under socialist or communist system, and I clearly see that this is it, this rent control business, the same way it started, the same way in the country where I come from, and now it is in America, and it should be voted down, because this is not the American way of life. And as I said, and I want to underline that, it does not hit the landlords at all, because landlords can sell their business and invest their money or put the money in the bank, and they would make more. But it hits the tenants. It cuts off the possibility for the tenants to get the home to live, and a nice home to live.
Are there any other things about rent control that you can think of that make it a bad idea?
Well, it is mainly to chain the people's rights. Landlords have not received their business just like that. They have worked hard for it. And then they invested money in there, and the relationship between the tenants and landlords would become so enemy-like if rent control goes through. There is no peace anymore, or no kind of friendliness anymore. You live like in prison, governed by the socialistic board, whatever you like to call about it, which would be arranged, and who pays for that? Now it is told that tenants must pay their few dollars to run that board, but oh no, it will grow bigger and bigger, because how could you think that only few people can do it all over our county? The bureaucracy would grow into hundreds and hundreds of people, and they are on wages, and tenants have to pay. That is in the rent control said, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
And that means then that the burden in the future will be all on tenants and not on landlords. Landlords can easily say, well, I don't like it, I'll sell it, and that's it. But what about those tenants, poor tenants who will be under the board, socialistic board? They would first thing feel what the socialism and communism is. Why should America, the most wonderful country in the world, copy our enemy's system of government? Because this is nothing else but socialistic government trying to pierce into America, like it has been said that we take America from inside.
And you've been there, haven't you?
I have, sir. I have, sir. And I am here to fight for America with my life, because I had America to come to, sir. But if this country falls for socialistic system, then tell me, where would we go from here? Would there be another America to go to? No, sir. It would be to go to the walls and to be shot like they do now in Afghanistan and in Poland. And American people know it. And American people are very wise to vote against rent control.
You really think
I
most
do.
American people know that?
Yes.
How can they know that when they haven't gone through the experience that you've gone through?
They have learned, because they have learned now through crisis in Poland, in Afghanistan, and the socialists and communists and their agents do not know how much American people know, because they have not actually been amongst American people as I have. I love American people, but I don't like the traitors in America. But they don't know, they cannot imagine how much American people know. I have not yet found anybody who actually is for rent control, because I am amongst the American people. I am not associated with traitors in America, but the people and socialists and communists here.
So what you're saying is that the true Americans know about rent control, but there are an awful lot of not true Americans around, right?
Yeah.
And
well, you may not call it what I call them, but to me, to be against America and living in America, it looks to me like they are traitors. So maybe that word is strong to use, but I'm not far away from it either.
Well, I don't think, I've never heard anybody, any of the socialist-minded people say that they're against America. I hear them always say, I'm a socialist because I'm for America, and I object to being gouged on my rent. How do you answer those people who say that they're being gouged on their rent? What do you say to them?
Well, maybe I should say to them that why don't you work hard and then build an apartment house and rent and then talk that rents should be controlled. How would one feel then when he has put all his money and savings and work into getting the house to rent? Then they would know it. But those people who are for the rent control, they are not actually trying to save the money. What they are doing is trying to take the American enterprise